very warm welcome to our first episode of Let's Talk. Today we have with us ANANT KANSAL sir. ANANT KANSAL sir is currently the co-founder and executive director of SureWaves MediaTech. Previously, he was the co-founder of another company named Baysoft, which is a software, service, and product-based company, which was later acquired by Ampersand Softwares. ANANT KANSAL sir has 35 years of experience leading teams on-site and offshore. He has held various senior managerial positions in various tech giants, including Wipro and Tectonics. Anand sir is an engineer in electrical and electronics from BITS Pilani. Talking about Anand sir's passion, he is a very ardent and a passionate marathon runner. He tries to beat his own record week after week. He is very known to have been running 40 plus kilometers in every run. A warm welcome to you, sir, to the first episode of Let's Talk. Anand, sir, could you please tell our audience what kind of services did SureWave MediaTech give to its customers?
Yeah, Francis. Yeah, I'll briefly tell you about what we do. We have two offerings: one for the Indian advertisers, another one for the American broadcasters. So this is a media technology company. So basically, we help advertisers to play advertisements on TV channels. Okay. So for Indian advertisers, we offer ad spots on cable TV channels. So ad spots are nothing but the ads that you see on the TV in between programs. So there are breaks where the ads play, and after the ad is done, then the program resumes. So we have a similar offering. Only thing is that we have automated the entire process. So what we do is we have an edge device, which is known as Media Grid. That's a box which is called it's known as a media station. And this media station has all the ads that are, so the ads that are supposed to play on a particular TV channel is downloaded on that particular box. And that box is connected to the TV channel's broadcast system. And so our system is able to identify the break, and it's able to interrupt and then play the advertisement and then resume the feed. So that's the technology that we have developed. So we have a complete control on the advertisement from the point of view that we can even give the proof of play to the advertiser that we have played this at so and so times. And advertiser can even take the TV channel on remote control, and they can see when the ad was actually played. So that gives them the confidence to do that process. So it's a very interesting and a very unique product. We have got almost about 50 patents for this. So it's a patent technology. Yeah. And similarly, we have another product for the US market, which is used by the broadcasters to make their sales operations more efficient by automating their sales order process. So the broadcasters, they place orders to the advertisers, and the advertisers will give them the ads, and then they play the ads. Since they are controlling so many channels, it becomes so difficult for them to keep track of whether the ad has played that number of times it is supposed to play or not. Sometimes it gets dropped, program got over early or whatever. Getting the money from the advertiser for playing this, they need to play it completely. So they will then have to choose alternate channels or alternate programs where they can play. So this is known as a make good. So manually tracking this for multiple channels is very tedious. Our system is basically able to track this automatically. So it can find out which ads got dropped and which has to be played. This is again a very unique kind of a thing, which nobody in the world has been able to do, this kind of automation.
So this is the basic business model of SureWaves MediaTech.
Yeah, right.
And also recently, your company had received the tender from Government of Karnataka to use media technologies to spread COVID-19 awareness in public places, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that is also again media distribution and media using media technologies to bring about awareness using different new type of media technologies.
Okay. Could you please tell us about the major roles that you undertake in SureWave MediaTech as the co-founder and executive director of the company?
Yeah, basically it is day-to-day running of the company. That is what I look after. So whether it's HR or finance or IT, sales, engineering. So these are various functions and we have different teams working on them. So typically keeping track of how things are going, and also very important thing is the finance part of it, where how we can have the cash flow so that we can survive. So especially during this pandemic, it was tough time we had, but then somehow we are able to keep afloat. Okay. So hopefully in the future we'll again bounce back as soon as the world is okay.
Do you really think that the formal education that you went through has really helped you in this journey of entrepreneurship?
Definitely, formal education definitely helps. See, what it teaches you is to have a more logical approach to problem solving. Okay. And also it brings about an aptitude which will help you to learn new things. So that's the most important thing, because the technologies are changing so fast. To keep abreast of the technology, one has to have that aptitude to be able to keep learning all the time. So, and keep ahead of the competition. So that's why that is where the formal education helps. Not that you have to remember all the formulas or whatever things you studied in your physics, chemistry, or
but a structured way to solving problems that come in your way.
Yeah, right.
How did the long years of corporate life that you had help you in this journey of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, that also helps a lot, because when you come across situations in your business which are difficult at times, one can rely back on your earlier experience, what you had done in a similar thing you would have handled in some other organization, or what you would have done if you were the founder of that company, and what that person would have done. For example, I worked in Wipro for a long time, and the Wipro chairman is like a mentor, Mr. Premji. So he really taught us so many things about how to do business, and ethically, especially in India. So those are some of the values that we took from there, and we apply to our current company. Things like managing finances, or building relationships, or conceptualizing new ideas, coming up with new products, leading a team. It could be an engineering team, or it could be a sales team, or whatever. How do we really keep them motivated and make sure that we achieve our results?
Okay. What was the moment that you decided that you want to take this path of entrepreneurship? Because after spending a long time in the corporate industry, it could be challenging to come back and start from scratch. Take care of everything, starting from finance to hiring to project management. It can be quite hectic, right?
Yeah, actually, this is not my first startup. I have done a startup earlier, which was way back in 1995. And that time I was much younger, and that time the market was the IT industry was booming, and the companies were doing very well. Individuals were getting highly paid. So I was getting good salary in Wipro, and then, but then something like happened inside me that prompted me uh, to take this risk. And I thought that I have been doing this for a long time, being in a company. So I've learned so many things. So why not just try it out? And in worst case, if it doesn't succeed, then I can go back to the corporate life. So there's nothing,
Right.
I won't, maybe I'll lose some money, but then it's not that my career will be over.
Mhm.
So that is the reason why I took that jump at that time. And we ran that company for a couple of years, me and a couple of my friends. And it was again in IT consulting kind of work. We did a lot of software exports and so on, which was the key thing that time. So, and then another company came along and they offered a very good bargain. So we were not able to refuse.
Okay.
So we sold the company. But then again went back to corporate life, and then few more years, and then again that bug which is there inside, which again started biting you, and then it said, okay, why don't you start again? So this time, with another close friend, I started this company. So this time it was not so difficult decision because I've already done it, so I have the confidence, and I know the person with whom I was starting. He was a millionaire who had done another startup and it was very successful, and he made millions in that.
Okay.
So that was kind of a confidence, and so that made me move into this. But definitely, it was a very unpredictable, and there were a lot of ups and downs. We went through a lot of difficulties until we got some funding from external venture
Okay.
capital company. But
So,
yeah, this is a interesting journey. Yeah.
could you tell us a bit about your transition from the corporate job into the startup? How did you manage it? Basically, did you work in the corporate job and manage making the first product, or did you quit your job and directly start working full time in the startup?
It was something like that because initially we were kind of sounding out the idea to the external world and trying to see whether it works. And we did some kind of a market survey while I was still working with my previous job. And then once we got a kind of a positive response, we felt okay that we can now quit
Okay.
the job because this requires a full-time attention. So then that's when we started. And for us to coordinate, both of us, we used to go for long walks in the morning and then discuss the ideas and
Okay.
and think of what we can do and how we'll. So the entire planning and initial execution was done from Palm Meadows,
Okay.
staying at home, so without an office.
Okay. Do you think that the university students who really want to start up or take up the path of entrepreneurship, do they start their first business right after the university, or should they go into the industry, into the corporate life, learn all the industry practices, and then come back and start their own business?
It depends on the individual. So it is not like a general rule. There are, because our university education really doesn't provide the kind of things that you need to be able to do the business on your own, unless after engineering or whatever graduation you have done, you have gone through business education also, which is like MBA or whatever. So without having a business acumen or a business background, it is very difficult to start on your own. So that's why I would suggest, if you have just done like a bachelor's degree in science or engineering or whatever, it doesn't give you the kind of business
Mindedness.
acumen that you need to be able to run a business.
Okay.
So better to acquire that also through a formal degree. And then you see a lot of MBAs will straight away start a company. So for them, it's not so difficult because they have gone through the formal education. So that's what I would say. But also there are people who have done graduation, or some people who even drop the graduation and then start, because probably they have a business family. They are in a business family, and their parents have kind of they really don't want them to go through a formal thing, and they want them to start a business immediately. So maybe that's a exceptional.
Okay. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self? For that matter, any 20-year-old kid who is really interested in starting up their own business. What advice would you like to give them?
So the advice would be, if they want to start something of their own, then there are ample opportunities available. So there are basically any business is about solving a problem. Any product that you build that is trying to solve some problem. So, and there are so many problems around you. It's only if you can observe keenly what are the things that are bothering you or bothering the people around you or the world, and then come up with a solution for that.
Okay.
And then how you go about doing it, and then how you can scale it up. Those are the things that will make it successful.
Be focused on a problem and find a solution, which will eventually lead to a successful journey in entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now let's talk a bit about the athletic side of your life. You have been running 40 plus kilometer marathons very frequently. You have been very sincerely passionate and dedicated towards this sport. Marathon is not just about courage, but it's about the strength and the stamina of your body. You need to be in high spirits to keep pursuing the sport. So please tell us a bit about how you started with the sport of marathon running.
It's interesting, see, because I always wanted to keep myself fit. It was not, I don't want to be like a Seth who is having a big paunch and he's not able to, and uh, he's not able to move around, or having a whole lot of diabetes and blood pressure and so on. So I definitely didn't want to be like that kind of a person. Okay, so right from my childhood days itself, I was very active. I used to take part in a lot of sports and so on. Not that I won any medals or anything, but then, yeah, I used to play everything: the basketball, or badminton, or cricket, or whatever. In Bangalore, once I moved here, it was kind of difficult to find a place to play. I was not part of any, not a member of any club or whatever. So I thought, let me go for walks. So I used to go for morning walks every day. Then I thought walking was boring, so I started a little bit jogging, little bit started running, and then 2 kilometers became 5 kilometers to 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers. So the distance kept on going up as my stamina improved, and I felt, yeah, I can run longer. And morning I used to wake up early and go there. So that's how it just happened. It's not that I had planned anything that I want to be a marathoner or whatever. But then it became a kind of a habit, and that habit turned into a passion. And so that's how the entire thing happened. Yeah, actually, it is not so difficult. It is like for a person who has not run, it might sound very difficult that, oh, running so much distance and so much time, how can one do it? But then it's just like 3, 4 times a week. Just have to get out, wear your shoes, and just go out on the street and run. So it's not so difficult. So, and it just becomes a habit. Then you feel that, okay, now you don't think that whether should I wait today or not, or I'm getting bored, or I've already done so much, or no excuses.
Okay.
So once you get into that habit, uh, it becomes difficult to do without it.
Oh,
So it's like any other habit, right?
okay.
Whether you smoke, so you people who smoke, they can't give up smoking, right?
Oh,
So it's the same way here. So it is not that I have to put in some extra effort in being disciplined or I have to wake up early. I can do it any time of the day, whenever I find time. But I have
okay.
decided that it's better to do it in the morning. A lot of people run in the evenings also. So I
Mm.
see people running in the afternoon also. So it's not like that. And then marathon running, basically, yeah, it is beyond a certain distance, it becomes difficult.
Okay.
So one has to really have some efficiency in running. So that's where the training comes in.
Mhm.
So you need to train yourself to be able to go for longer distance
Okay.
and not feel tired or not get injured. Those are a couple of things which will require some level
Training.
of learning. Either you learn from books or videos or you try various things. Uh, and your diet, you need to be on a healthy diet because you need proteins, you need good good food, healthy food. So those are the things. And then while running, you need to stop for water or need to have some things to eat also. You know, when you are going for a distance more than 20-25 kilometers, it becomes difficult.
Okay.
But nowadays, running has become like a quite a fashionable thing. I see many people now following like this kind of dream, and especially people at older ages.
Okay.
People after 30, 40, they start running. So same is the case with me. I have been running for last 20 years or so, and that time I was 40 when I started. Right now I'm 60, and I think I can run for another 20 years. So it's not
Oh.
so because if I can continue this healthy lifestyle, I can definitely uh, run for another 20 years.
What are your goals or plans in regards with this sport? Do you aim to achieve a particular distance or take part in some international event?
Yeah, actually, I have been improving. As I'm doing uh, for so many years, I keep on setting a new targets every year. Like a couple of years back, it was for me doing a full marathon was very, very difficult. I was not able to complete. So I tried, and then I was not able to finish 42 kilometers. So I changed my diet a little bit, and then did more practice and so on. So I became lighter by being on diet. So almost I lost about 12 kgs about 3 years back. And then since I was lighter, and then I started doing some cross training also, so that I can improve my muscles, the strength, and so on. Because after a particular point, you need strength to run, not only just the stamina, but also because the body becomes very stiff uh, and it's not able to move if you run such a long distance. So that requires some kind of a strength training also. So that I started. So by making certain changes, I was able to then improve the distance and also my speed. And now my goal is that, okay, having done so many full marathons now, in the last 2 or 3 years, I would have done at least some 10, 12 full marathons. So I have not kept a count, but yeah. And half
Okay.
marathon is now every week I'm doing it. So it's like so easy. And
Yeah.
I don't get tired. And I don't get any injury.
Okay.
And so that's why I think I can do much better. I can even go for ultra marathon now. So my next target is 50 kilometers. And speed also is improving. So half marathon I'm able to do in like 2 hours 15 minutes or so. Probably I want to finish it within 2 hours. Full marathon, I want to finish within 4.5 hours at least. Now, currently, I'm doing around 5 hours, 15 minutes or something, full marathon. So those are the kind of targets. And I keep track because I have a fitness watch, Garmin watch, where it tells me all my statistics, how I am running and so on. And also it helps me plan my training program. So I can plan my training on my own by studying some books and so on. I have been able to come up with some ways by which I can achieve the targets that I'm setting for myself. So those are things. And so that's what I want to do, at least 50K this year, at least once. And then let's see. And I want to continue running. So as long as I can.
Something to keep chasing. That's nice to hear. Coming to the final question, what advice would you like to give to aspiring athletes?
Whatever sport you choose, I think you should, first thing is that you should find it interesting enough for you to pursue that. And then if you like it, then definitely you would like to play more, and you will try to do it, and you will pursue with enthusiasm, and you will enjoy it. That is why you're playing that particular sport. The only thing is that it requires time and patience. So it becomes difficult once you start doing a job and so on. I would recommend people should start when they are very young, especially in some other sports. You need youngsters to play because beyond 30 years or something, the people are not able to contribute to their best levels, right? It's only in running you find people who are going beyond 40, 50 years of age, because there is no such targets to meet. But whatever you want to achieve, you have to start early for that, and that's where most of the people who have become successful, you've seen that they would have started at the age of 4 or 5, whether it's a tennis big players who are globally famous, and or it is cricket, whatever. So they've started early. That's why they're able to achieve what they want to achieve.
Start early and work hard. These are the two things to keep in mind. Thank you very much, Anand Kansal sir, for spending this time with us, sharing about the wisdom that you've gained over time. It is truly going to help and inspire somebody out there to keep pursuing their dream. Once again, a huge thank you from our side.
Thank you, Francis, for having me, and I hope I'm able to share whatever and it's useful for others. Thank you.